Good morning, Year 7. So today I'm going to take you through the last section of our drawing we've been doing. So you're going to leave one as a line drawing, you've got pointillism, you've got cross-hatching, and today we are going to look at pencil tone. Now there are many ways of getting tone with a pencil. You can use the point of your pencil, and if you press on lightly, you can build up layers. And if you press on lightly, you will also avoid getting pencil lines. So you can see I'm building up layers, and I can press on slightly darker as I'm getting to get that darker corner there. I can press on darker and darker. The pencil that I'm using is a B pencil. This is a good pencil for getting some nice dark tones. You can also use an ordinary pencil without any lettering on it. So that's using the point of your pencil. You can also use the edge of your pencil, which will build up a more softer texture. It's better for a larger area. It picks up the texture of the paper, and again, if you're pressing on lightly to begin with, and then as you building up that darkness, more layers you put on, the darker it will get. But again, pressing on lightly. You can also use a smudging technique if you want to blend layers. So where you can put in your tones and then you can smudge across the top of them to sort of blend them. It's not coming up on the camera very well. You can see, it's quite difficult to see that in the camera. You can see it very well on my drawing. No, that doesn't help. Okay, but personally I'm not keen on this technique because you don't have much control, because you can end up smudging out of the area where you want it to be smudged. Another technique is using a rubber, where you can use a rubber to lighten up an area where you've added pencil. If I'm wanting to bring in this area here behind my hair, I want to lighten that up, you can use your rubber. You can also use it to draw in highlights. So if I wanted to have some definition brought out in my hair here, I can use that rubber, and I can add in whites where I wouldn't have had them. And then when I've done that, I can then redraw in tone around that shape. Okay, so those are three different techniques. I'm going to take you through using the point of your pencil and pressing on lightly to begin with and building up your layers. If you're wanting to use a rubber to add light areas, I'd use a small area with a sharp point, a small rubber with a sharp point on it. And also start off with a nice sharp pencil. Okay, so just going to look at the photograph that I was looking at before. If you want to, you can still use your phone to draw from. So start off by looking for your mid-tone areas. This is a very different technique to pointillism and cross-hatching when you draw with a pen, because what we're not going to do is we're not going to draw around the area where we want to add tone. We're going to use just building up of layers of the pencil. So I'm going to start with a mid-tone area, so this cheek here, and as you saw as I did the demonstration, I'm just going to add it in really light touches. I'm hardly touching that page. I've already drawn around areas of where it is lightest here. So I'm going to try and blend that pencil line that I've already drawn to get rid of the line. So I'm adding in this mid-tone here. And at the minute it's all very similar tone. And then I am going to start down that cheekbone there. It's slightly darker, so I'm just going to add it slightly more layers down that back part of that cheekbone. What else? So I'm now going to come up to this area here where it's slightly darker, and you can use more of a point of your pencil to bring out definite sharper dark lines. So between here and here it's very light to very dark very quickly. So I'm going to be very careful not to smudge in that line there, and down here is a lot darker. Again, I'm going to add in that dark tone now, putting in more layers of my pencil. You can also press on a little bit harder, but I'd be very careful of pressing on too hard, because if you press on too hard, you are going to end up with pencil lines. Now I'm blending between my mid-tone and my dark tone just by going over those layers. And I don't need to use my finger to blend it, because if I use my finger to blend that, there's too much of a small area. I'm going to end up messing up my lighter area that I don't want to end up with smudging. I'm just going to use the point of my pencil to bring out that definition between that light and that dark again. There is a slightly lighter bit down that really white bit that's slightly lighter than this background, so I'm just going to go over that. You need to be constantly reassessing where the lightest and where the darkest areas are, and the shapes as well. You may come to a point now, because you are adding in tone, where you're going to think, oh, that shape's not quite right, so you can rub out the shapes and change them and make them more correct. So in here I have pretty much my darkest area. So once you've done all of your midtones, then you can start adding in all of your darkest areas. But again, not just doing this by pressing on hard, you need to be doing it by pressing on hard but a slightly harder, but going in with more layering. The more layering you do, the smoother those areas will be and less pencil line. Okay, so I'll just refer back to the one with that's more finished tone. Okay, so you're going to fill in all your areas where you've got your mid-tones. You're going to leave the white areas white, and then you're going to do the darker tones. Okay, good luck.